Seeing a lot of online commentary about the bank bailouts, and a lot of what I see, frankly, is not right. So we're going to break down what's actually going on with these bank bailouts and what it could mean for crypto on today's Frugal BC. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Frugal BC, where we talk about crypto news, we do crypto experiments, and all that good stuff. And today we're talking about the bank bailouts, because I feel like a lot of what I'm seeing is wrong. Just simply calling them bailouts, frankly, I know it's a convenient shorthand, but it gives this impression that the federal government is bailing out these banks, which it is not. A lot of the commentary I'm seeing online lends me to believe that people didn't actually read the press release and what it means. So I want to break that down on today's Frugal BC. If you like this kind of content, I'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button and like the video as well. Remember, you don't have to smash it, you just have to press it gently. Whole point of this channel is to do experiments in crypto and also give you guys news so you know what's going on, but also do these experiments so we can try stuff out and let you know how it really works. Is it good, bad, something in between? I want you guys to be informed. Informing is all what this channel is about, and we're going to do that today with these bailouts. Okay, so what happened? Three banks, Silvergate, Signature, and Silicon Valley Bank, all failed over the weekend. Actually, in the case of Signature, we're going to see that's not quite the case, but we will get to that. So investors, so basically, first off, the Fed stepped in on Sunday night and said that they were going to make depositors whole. Now, that is not the same thing as a bailout. It is a bailout of depositors, because anyone who had money on these banks, they had real worry. I mean, there was real bank runs going on. Some stuff was going on at Silicon Valley Bank that was not good. They were not liquid, which is different than being insolvent, by the way. Illiquid means they had the money but didn't have it to give out when so many people come. It's kind of like if you got your money tied up in investments and you're not going to get that money back. Well, more of a loan. Let's say you loan $500 to a friend and someone else comes and needs money. It's like, well, I have $500 coming to me, but I don't have it right now. That's kind of what happened with Silicon Valley Bank. Now, there's some talk about whether they made really bad bets. Some of them did make bad bets. Others, it really just a matter of timing. But the problem is once people hear these fears about something going wrong with the bank, their immediate reaction, as you know, is to get your money out. This caused a problem with Circle. Circle had a lot of money in SVB, which caused people to panic about US dollar coin. So people started selling US dollar coin, causing it to depeg. It is almost back to normal now, but it wasn't for a while, and it was touch and go, and people were a little concerned about that. So the Fed stepped in and made sure that depositors of all three banks would be made whole, and they did this by seizing these banks. Well, I don't think they seized Silvergate, but Signature and SVB they seized. Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't think Signature actually needed to be seized. And some of this believe this is an attack on crypto. And they might be right. Actually, in fact, Barney Frank, who was part of creating the Frank Dodd Act when he was a congressman and who was a board member at Signature Bank, actually said that he believed this was an attack on crypto because, frankly, the situation at Signature had stabilized by Sunday. So apparently, everybody at Signature was really surprised when they were seized because everything seemed to be turning back around. The situation had stabilized. That was not the case at Silicon Valley Bank. I said this move makes depositors whole, which is meant to stop the panic because these things tend to spread. What happens at one bank, people get worried about their own bank, and then they start panicking and taking their money out, and then you have this collapse. You have this collapse where this contagion where people just start taking their money out of bank, and it causes the very problem they're worried about. It's kind of the same thing with US dollar coin. If people are so worried about US dollar coin that they sell it, but the sell pressure actually creates the depegging. Some of the concerns I hear is people are saying, well, first off, a lot of people are saying that the Fed is stepping in and bailing out these banks. They're not bailing out the banks. These banks are going to zero. They're done. If you were an investor, your money is going to zero. If you were an executive here, you're losing your job, your bank is disappearing, okay? They're keeping the depositors whole. And like I said, part of that is to spread the contagion. Part of that is so now do you have some super rich people in these banks? Sure, of course. You also have like regular people who use these banks. You also have You have companies who need to make payroll, so that's going to, if they couldn't make payroll, that's going to affect employees at that job, everything from the janitor to the coder to whatever, whatever it happens to be. So I think there's some misinformation and people pretending like this is only affecting the super rich. It would affect a lot of people, and frankly, a collapse of the banking system would affect a lot of people, like everybody, pretty much everybody. So including people like me, people like you can say maybe they shouldn't have, if you took a really libertarian stance and say they shouldn't be bailing out banks, and they're not really bailing out the banks, they're bailing out the depositors. I think the greater good for everybody is that they stepped in and did this, and they kind of found a middle ground between, a full bailout and actually, just doing nothing. I think it's probably the best decision, and you won't hear me agree with the feds very much. For example, I've been saying a long time that back when times were really good and the stock market was soaring, that they should have slowly started introducing some higher interest rates, which the market could have absorbed at the time. Instead, they waited, and then they waited till things were bad, and now we have to do these extreme hikes. So just want to get on a soapbox there. That being said, I am not saying that Silicon Valley Bank didn't have problems. They absolutely did. And in fact, the executives, only a couple of weeks, I believe 12 days before all this happened, had sold a lot of their stock. So they saw something coming, and frankly, I think they should be brought up on insider trading charges, and I think we will probably see something like that. So that situation, I don't think, is over. And keep an eye on it, because we will call them out if that doesn't happen. But anyway, Barney Frank, who was a former congressman, like I said, he created the Dodd-Frank Act, and as a board member of this bank, believed this was a deliberate attack on crypto, because all these banks happen to be pro-crypto friendly, and Signature would have been the last one standing, because otherwise, he said that there's no objective reason for them to have seized that bank. It was, like I said, the situation had stabilized by Sunday by the time they took it over, and everyone was very, very surprised that it got seized. So what does this mean for crypto? Well, interestingly enough, the price of Bitcoin has been soaring. You can see, let's move this over a little bit. I mean, you can see what Algorand's been doing. It's up to almost 23 cents, well over 22 cents, when it was much lower before. And I can show you the charts. Actually, I believe Bitcoin on Monday alone just went up about 10%. And if we go down here, look, it's almost at 26,000. That's crazy. I mean, it was actually 25,000 before. It was 24,000 last night. It's just continuing to climb, as has Ethereum. And then you see US dollar coin very, very close to that dollar peg. Not quite a dollar like it's supposed to be, but you can see it's almost, that dip has been almost completely erased now, which is really interesting. But pretty much everything's up. XRP up only a teeny tiny amount, maybe because it's a bank, meant to be a banking coin, I'm not sure. But everything's up on the week, now just about between 5 and 10% roughly. Binance falling off its peg a little bit now, might be because of the news that Coinbase stopped trading on it because they're a little concerned about liquidity issues. Very interesting. And DAI was another one. Now, a lot of people were talking about US dollar coin, but DAI actually was depegged as well. And that one's almost completely recovered. Good for them. Yep, even Shiba's up, Litecoin a little bit. Just out of curiosity, what is like way up? I want to see what's way up here. Why wouldn't you do that? Come on. Okay, yeah, so some randos up: Conflux, Kava. This is top 100 stuff, just seeing what's doing best. Stacks, Aptos, Filecoin, Rocket Pool, didn't even know about that one. Oasis Network. There's a lot of ones I just haven't heard of that are now in the top 100. Optimism, I've heard of that one. And then, yeah, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's actually pretty high up there amongst even Little DAO too, and OKB are up there in the double-digit percentages up for the week. So even stocks, apparently, so a lot of regional bank stocks fell, as did just kind of stocks in general fell a lot on Monday. A lot they've started to recover a lot, so that's a good thing. Well, definitely will be some fallout from all this. So I don't know what's going to happen with crypto, but it's really interesting that this bank catered to a lot of tech companies, and the backlash against it has been very interesting because people are clearly taking a very anti-tech stance. But I think that's interesting because we all use tech. We all it's part of our lives. And while we can criticize some of those decisions, I don't think we should be rooting for their collapse either. I don't think that would be good for anybody who has investments, whether that's crypto or, you know, regular stocks. And I keep both, as I've said many times in this channel. What will it mean for crypto? I don't know, because these were the banks that really supported crypto, and without pro-crypto friendly banks, I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future. But right now is definitely not slowing the altcoin or the coin train, as Bitcoin is soaring and a lot of the altcoins are as well, including Algorand, which I cover a lot on this channel, which is the reason I have this hat. So anyway, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to clarify some of the stuff about the bank. I just don't think people are understanding it's not really a bailout, or it's maybe a quasi bailout. I think keeping depositors whole is a good idea. It doesn't prevent the banks from collapsing. And one thing I forgot to say about Silicon Valley Bank, some of the same executives there were also executives at Lehman Brothers, which if you ever want to read a really good breakdown of how that whole thing transpired, Matt Taibbi's book Divide does a really good job of breaking down what happened with Lehman Brothers. So it's a little scary, and they were very fast and loose with the rules according to his book. So seems like they were fast and loose here. So anyway, I just want to give people the correct information. Whether you agree with it or not, my stance is another matter entirely, but it's not a bailout, and I do want to make that clear. And I also wanted to talk about what this means for crypto. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're all doing well out there. I hope you're happy watching your crypto go up right now. That's always fun. And stay safe. You know, we've had a rough go of it of crypto lately, especially with the my algo hacks. If you're on Algorand, and even HBAR having its own issues. Yep, stay safe out there. Not your keys, not your crypto. Safest way is with a ledger. And as always, I'm Frugal BC, and I will see you in the future.